All right. What's up, everybody? This is Cameron from Tactical Trading Services, and I'm coming to you this weekend with another market update. So, it's been fun. Stick around, and we'll look at what's going on and see if we can figure out what's going to happen here. So, starting it off, we will look at the S&P 500, and we will start on the weekly chart, and we'll look at what's going on here. All right, so I've been looking for 4,400 to serve as some resistance, and we got to 43.93.68, and we just rejected it. This weekly candle, it doesn't look really great. It's actually quite worrisome, but it's not to say that it's time to get bearish, okay? Because if we come over here to the daily chart and we look here, we see that we're right here on the 20, on the daily 20. We're coming right to it. So I'm hoping that this will serve as support. What's kind of funny is the 43.20 area, there was a gap there down on the hourly charts, we will look at it in a minute, that needed to be filled, and it got filled yesterday, Friday, July 16th, and so like I said, now we're right here above this 20, and I'm hoping that what we'll end up doing is holding it as support, and we'll get another move up here to finish the rally into the end of the month, beginning of August, where I anticipate a larger correction. So right here on the hourly, if you look, there's that gap right down here in the 43.20, 43.21 area, and look how it just served as a magnet after coming off those highs, and we came down here and we pushed back up just slightly towards the end of the session, but nothing really to talk about. So it was a pretty bearish couple days last week. So I was really hoping once I seen us hold this level here at 43.75 on the 14th, so what would that have been, Wednesday? Once I seen that, I was really hoping that was just our sideways consolidation before our next pop and break above 4,400. But obviously that did not happen, and it fell here. So we're just gonna have to see how next week goes. If we see some support at these levels, if we don't, it's gonna be that more significant correction that I've been talking about. So I want to change this just real quick. There we go. Okay, and you can see here, I've had this price channel, the white channel here, I've had that drawn on the NDX for quite a while, actually. I don't even remember when I drew it, and I don't even remember where it originates at back here. But I drew it back here, and I projected it out, just a simple right extension there, and I noticed that we came right up here to this upper channel trend line, and we were met with some significant profit taking, and it just so happened to coincide with the 15,000 psychological price level, and I thought that was pretty phenomenal, actually. So it's really tough right now to forecast out anything. just because of where we're at, there's no clear edge for me to forecast which direction we're going to go, because um, both directions are very real and very possible. The NDX, you kind of see this purple line. It's a linear regression trend line, so it's pretty much like the average, the mean, whatever you want to say. And it's sitting at 14,378 right now, or no, about 14,509. I'm sorry, and you can see that the daily 20 is sitting at 14,582, and the price channel right here is sitting somewhere between 14,450, maybe somewhere like that. So there should be a lot of support down in this area if we get down there. I'm hoping. I really wish that we would have held 14,700, because let me show you real quick. As you can see here, if we would have held 14,700, then I would have been a lot more bullish, because that's a support level right there, and we could still hold that even though we poked below it. We in the markets, this is a good lesson. In the markets, whenever you have a support and resistance level, you will often see the markets surpass that on either end, and only to come back in your original direction. So that's something that a lot of traders get hung up on. Like if they're trading off of support and resistance, they'll see it break those levels, and they'll adjust their trade accordingly, only to see it pop back within the level. So it's important to allow yourself a little overshoot in the markets, for sure. So always remember that, and it's definitely a good point to be taken. But yeah, like I said, I really wish we would have held 14,700, but at the same time, we're 19 points below. It's just really hard to say right now. If we hold this and we continue the bull rally, then yeah, we'll come back up here and we'll ride this upper trend line for a minute, and then very real possibility we just have a massive breakout above it, and you'll be able to see that too. But if we don't, then it could potentially get pretty interesting. If we open up next week bearish, then I look for us to come down here, okay, and we'll consolidate probably right in here in the middle of this channel. That will allow the 50 to catch up, and we'll consolidate above it. And if we break that, then it's lights out. So it's definitely something that we need to keep our eye on. I'm in quite a few bullish trades right now, and I'm maintaining my bullishness for the time being, and until I have a reason not to. I'm hoping next week we get a pop back up, and this hourly chart, it'll come up here to test these moving averages and hopefully break through them, and we can continue our rally. But it's going to be interesting for sure. So it's something to watch and something to think about. So to go over, we'll look at Tesla. Okay, I actually opened up a bullish trade on Tesla, and I want to get out before this earnings announcement. But my reasoning was that over here, we've been in pretty significant consolidation, and I still want this to come down here to 500 to 550. And I'm telling you, if it gets down here, if we get earnings and it drops down here, then I'm gonna be looking to scoop up some shares of this bad boy and ride it out, because I think it's got good potential. But I opened up a bullish trade on Tesla, just because I seen this 200 SMA here on the daily chart, and that's gonna serve as some pretty good support. And we've had a bullish couple, or a bearish couple days here, and we came right down to it. So I took the opportunity to sell some puts down here, and I will ride those into a profit. Hopefully, we will see. You always need to remember that most of the time it's a good idea to be that Warren Buffett saying or whatever, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful, or whatever. It's important, like, this is the best time to sell puts. Whenever you see this downtrend and we've sold off, and we're right here on some major support areas as far as moving averages. And you can also you can take a trend line right here, and you could draw this trend line just right up like that right there, and you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 coming into the fifth. It's a good place to sell some puts, and you have a very, very narrow window of risk if you plan your trade properly. So let's see here. What else we want to talk about? What other trades do I have on? I got I actually have an Amazon trade on. And I'm hoping the same thing here. I think my short strike's at 3,300. They have earnings on the 29th, so I will try to exit that trade. I should have exited up here. I was up. I think I got up to like 46% on the profit, and I had an order in to sell at 50%, and it never hit, unfortunately, and so I held on a little bit, and we see what happened. But that's just part of it, we'll see what we get, but we should get some sort of little bounce, hopefully. But we'll see what happens. So I think Amazon has a bright future. If anybody has a portfolio that they're managing, I would definitely recommend Amazon shares for the long term, because I can see this thing easily 4,000 plus, 4,500. It's definitely definitely something that could be a pretty good winner. But I want to see if I don't know. I think this is probably coming from Friday. So if you look, tech was down 1%. Financials was down 1.37%. Consumer discretionary was down 1.23%. What was up? Utilities, consumer staples, and healthcare. Semiconductors was down. So these sectors right here, they're telling you that there's defensive positioning, okay? And that's kind of that is kind of concerning to me, because defensive positioning, if you think about it, so we'll look at the utilities. So you have a bunch of energy companies in here, water companies, like, you have essentials in here, right? And if you think about what you have in the consumer staples, look what you have. You have Walmart, Coke, Pepsi, Procter and Gamble, Colgate, Palmolive, Clorox, you have a bunch of, like, let me think how to say it. You have a bunch of needs. These are things that whenever things get bad in the economy, people will still flock to products from these companies. Okay, whenever things get bad, people are still going to buy toothpaste. People are still going to go to Walmart. And so that was kind of concerning, but at the same time, whenever you dive into here, you can see that a lot of these big names weren't sharing the same sentiment as what these others were. And if you look into tech, most of it, the big hitters is your semiconductors. And that, I view it as semiconductors and tech will usually lead on bull markets just because of their growth sentiment. And so it's a very tricky time right now, but it's going to be very important for us to see what happens next week. I didn't like the magnitude and the aggressiveness of the down moves that we've seen, but at the same time, the internals, the internals weren't really signaling. They weren't really signaling like a huge start to a bear market, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Even like Wednesday and Thursday, look at where trend was. I mean, it was not indicative of a bear market starting. And on Friday, the way I look at that reading right there, a lot of times on trend, if you have an extreme, that's usually you're usually trying to finish up the move whenever you have an extreme. Okay, it's trying to be exhaustive, and as you can see on Friday, we had a pretty good move. I think the high was 2.36. It looks like, and so what I'm hoping that this was the exhaustive move on Friday, and we can continue the bull market next week. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. The internals, it just wasn't really that crazy. And if you look over here at the tick, we had some meg minus 1000s here, but I don't know. It's just not signaling to me that it's the start of a bear market. As most of the internals was actually quiet, and it's just not too crazy yet. So it's something to just watch. We need to fill out the markets next week and see what happens. See, there's the gap on the hourly that I was talking about, right down here into 43.20, and it filled it. So maybe that'll set us up, and we can proceed with the bull market. What's another one I'd like to talk about real quick? So let's see here. We have a trade on in CrowdStrike. really needing CrowdStrike to pop up from these levels. We came back to the mean, so it's time, in my opinion, for us to get another rally back up past 270. This is one to keep on your guys' watch list, and here's a freebie for you. You can make a nice trade on CrowdStrike, so it'll be a pretty good trade. And another one that did pretty well was last week was Square. I have a trade on in Square, and that is definitely one to watch as well. And we've been talking a lot about these consolidation patterns that we're seeing here. You know, and this is kind of just like the others, and this is just a real quick thing here. But you can see that this thing has been consolidating for a while. There's a channel here, and it broke down out of that channel. So the first set of resistance is going to be probably past this consolidation trend line, and then we'll shoot back up, and maybe this will be up towards 300 by the time we get there. So that's my target for Square. If we break above this trend line is 300, and like I said, I actually do have a bullish trade on in that. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to take a quick minute and talk about the markets, because we've seen a pretty significant turn down. But if you take a step back and look, I mean, we're only 43.93 to 43.27. I mean, we're only like what, 66 points off the highs, so it's really not that bad. If you gotta take a look at the bigger picture, but yeah. So there's a quick update. If like I always say, if you have any questions, if you need any help with anything in regards to trading, just hit me up. Go to facebook.com/tacticaltrading12, and you can find our Facebook page and message me through there. I'll put the links in the video, and don't forget, if you want to come trade with us, we'll offer a free 1-week trial for you to come in and try us out and see if it's something that you'd like to enjoy doing with us. We make trades all the time. We got a nice trading area set up for all of our members, and it's just a good environment. So check us out. The link will be in the description, and happy trading all. Thanks.